stories. Your nightmares become real.
The air in our apartment feels wrong tonight, heavy with a sour tang like sweat and something metallic I can't place. My wife, Sarah, is asleep in the next room. Or at least I think she is. Her breathing is too steady, too perfect, like she's practicing. I'm hunched over my laptop in the dim glow of the living room, the screen's light carving shadows into my face. My fingers tremble as they hover over the keyboard, not from fear, not yet, but from the weight of what I've done, what I'm about to do. The dark web isn't a place you stumble into. It's a place you seek out. And I've been seeking for weeks. My marriage is a rotting thing, a corpse we've both been dragging around pretending it's still alive. But tonight, I'm not pretending anymore. Tonight, I'm the one who's going to cut it loose. Or so I thought. It started with the fights. Not the loud, plate-smashing kind, but the quiet ones, the ones that creep into your bones and stay there. Sarah's eyes used to spark when she looked at me, but now they're flat, like she's staring through me to something or someone else. I'd catch her texting late at night, her phone screen lighting up her face in the dark, her thumbs moving too fast for it to be nothing. She'd say it was work, but her job at the insurance office doesn't send messages at 2 a.m. Then there were the late nights, the client dinners, that left her smelling like whiskey and cologne that wasn't mine. I didn't confront her, not directly. I'm not that guy. Instead, I started digging. I'm a data analyst, so finding patterns is what I do. I tracked her phone's location history when she left it unlocked one night. Stupid mistake on her part. The data told a story. Late night stops at a motel on the edge of town, a bar I'd never heard of, an apartment complex across the city. I cross-referenced her credit card statements, the ones she thought I didn't have access to. Cash withdrawals, big ones, always before those motel visits. I didn't need to see the guy to know he existed, but knowing wasn't enough. I wanted to see it, to burn the truth into my skull so I couldn't pretend anymore. That's when I got stupid. That's when I went to the dark web. It's not hard to get there if you know where to look. A VPN, a Tor browser, a few whispered tips from a coworker who's into crypto and other stuff. I wasn't looking for drugs or guns. I wanted eyes. Someone to follow Sarah, to catch her in the act, to give me the proof I needed to walk away clean. Divorce is messy when you're the one who looks paranoid, and I wasn't about to let her spin me as the crazy one. I found a forum, a grimy corner of the internet where people trade services like they're bartering fruit at a market. The posts were vague but clear enough if you knew the code. Discrete surveillance, asset recovery, problem solving. I posted my own ad, careful not to give too much away. Need professional to track individual, gather evidence of infidelity. Discretion required, will pay. The responses came fast, like roaches skittering out of a cracked wall. Most were scams, obvious even to me. Broken English, demands for upfront Bitcoin. But one stood out. No name, just an email address and a single line. I can get what you need. Details? I hesitated, my gut twisting, but I replied. I told him about Sarah, the motel, the cash withdrawals. I sent a photo of her, one I took last summer when she was still smiling at me. I didn't give my name or hers, just enough to point him in the right direction. He responded within an hour. $5,000. Half now. Half when I deliver. You'll have your proof in a week. I wired the money from a crypto wallet I set up for this, untraceable. At least I thought it was. The next few days were torture. I went to work, nodded at meetings, ate dinner with Sarah while she scrolled her phone and barely spoke. Every night I checked that email, waiting for something, photos, videos, anything. On the fourth day, it came. A single attachment, no message. I opened it in the bathroom, door locked, heart hammering. It was a video, grainy but clear enough. Sarah, stepping out of her car at the motel, her hair loose, wearing that red dress she hadn't worn for me in years. A man met her at the door, tall, broad-shouldered, face obscured by a baseball cap. They didn't kiss, didn't touch, but the way she leaned into him as they walked inside told me everything. My stomach churned, not with jealousy, but with something colder. I'd been right, but being right didn't feel like winning. I emailed him back, told him I needed more, dates, times, the man's identity. He didn't respond for 2 days, and when he did, It wasn't what I expected. "Job's changed," he wrote. "Client wants more than surveillance. You're the target now. Run." I read it twice, 3 times, the words blurring on the screen. My mouth went dry, and the room felt too small, like the walls were pressing in. Sarah. It had to be Sarah. She'd found out somehow. Maybe caught me using her phone. Maybe saw my browser history. I don't know how she did it, but she'd turned the tables. She'd hired him, or someone else, to come for me. I didn't sleep that night. Every creak in the apartment was a footstep, every shadow a figure waiting to strike. I checked the locks twice, then 3 times. I kept my phone in my hand, the video still looping in my head. Sarah slept through it all, or pretended to. I couldn't look at her without seeing that red dress, that man, and now this, her paying someone to hunt me. I didn't know what more than surveillance meant, but my mind filled in the blanks. A knife in the dark, a car running me off the road, a bullet through the window. I had to move, had to think, but my brain was sludge, stuck on that email. Run. By morning I'd made a plan, or the closest thing to one I could manage. I couldn't stay here, not with her. Not with some faceless killer circling. But running blind was suicide. I needed to know who he was, how close he was. I emailed him back, playing dumb. "What do you mean? I paid you. What's going on?" No response. I checked the forum where I'd found him, but my post was gone, scrubbed clean. His profile was deleted, like he'd never existed. Panic clawed at me, but I forced it down. I had to get out, but I had to be smart. I packed a bag while Sarah was at work. Clothes, cash, a burner phone I'd bought months ago for reasons I couldn't even articulate then. I left my laptop, but not before wiping it, smashing the hard drive with a hammer in the garage. I didn't know if Sarah had access to it, but I wasn't taking chances. I drove to a motel, not the one from the video, a different one, cheap and anonymous. The clerk didn't look up from his phone when I paid in cash. The room smelled like mildew and stale cigarettes, but it was a place to breathe, to think. I sat on the sagging bed, staring at the burner phone, wondering who I could call. No one. I was alone. That night, I checked the email again, using a new account, a new VPN. Nothing. But there was something else. A notification from my bank app, $2,500 withdrawn from our joint account, time-stamped that morning. Sarah. She was moving money, maybe paying him the rest. I pictured her handing over an envelope, her face blank, like she was buying groceries. My hands shook as I logged into the dark web again, not to hire anyone, but to find answers. I needed to know who this guy was, what he was capable of. I posted in a different forum asking for help tracking a hitman, offering crypto for info. The responses were useless. Trolls, scammers, one guy claiming he could neutralize my problem for $10,000. But one message caught my eye, buried in the noise. "You're already dead. He's good. Stop posting." I didn't sleep. I couldn't. The motel room felt like a trap, the walls paper thin, the window a perfect target. I moved the bed against the door, kept a kitchen knife from home under the pillow. Every car that passed outside was him. Every creak in the pipes was his boots on the floor. I didn't know how to get rid of him, not yet, but I knew I had to keep moving. Sarah had set this in motion, but I wasn't going to let it end me. Not yet. The motel room smells like damp carpet and regret, a sour mix that clings to the back of my throat. I haven't slept in 2 days, not really. Just fits of dozing where my brain replays that email. "You're the target now. Run." The burner phone sits on the chipped nightstand, its screen dark, mocking me with silence. I've been checking it obsessively, hoping for a reply from the dark web forum, something to give me a lead on this hitman Sarah hired. Nothing. Just that one cryptic message from last night. "You're already dead. He's good. Stop posting." My eyes burn and my hands won't stop shaking, but I can't sit still. Sitting still feels like waiting to die. I'm crouched by the window now, peering through a crack in the heavy curtains. The parking lot is a sea of shadows, broken by the flicker of a dying streetlight. Every car that rolls by makes my pulse spike. Too slow, and it's him scoping me out. Too fast, and it's him trying not to be seen. I've got the kitchen knife in my hand, its weight a small comfort. though I know it's useless against someone who does this for a living. My bag is packed, slung over the chair by the door, ready to bolt. But to where? I can't go home. Sarah's there, probably playing the grieving wife already, rehearsing her story for when they find my body. I picture her in that red dress, her face blank as she hands over the rest of the cash, and my stomach twists. I need to know who he is, not just his face, but how he thinks, how he moves. The dark web's my only shot, but it's a minefield. I fire up the burner laptop I bought for cash at a pawn shop yesterday, a clunky thing that wheezes like it's on its last legs. I root through Tor, bouncing my signal across servers in countries I'll never see. The forum's still active, but my post from last night is buried under new threads, people selling hacked data, fake IDs, worse. I don't dare post again, not after that warning. Instead, I trawl through older threads, searching for anything about hitmen, about jobs gone wrong. Most of it's noise, but I find a post from months ago. A user claiming they hired someone for discreet work, who used encrypted email and never showed his face. The description matches my guy. Terse, professional, no name. The poster said the job went clean, but they were spooked by how fast it happened. Like he was already there, they wrote. My skin crawls. I dig deeper, cross-referencing the email address I used to contact him. It's a dead end, a throwaway account tied to a server that doesn't exist anymore. But there's a pattern in the forums, a whisper of a name, not a real one, just a handle. Shade. No one says it outright, but it's there in the subtext, a ghost in the threads. Shade's the guy you hire when you don't want questions, when you need it done quiet. I don't know if it's him, but it's all I've got. I save the threads to a USB drive, wipe the browser, and shut the laptop. My heart's pounding like I've run a mile, and I realize I'm gripping the knife so hard my knuckles ache. The motel's too exposed. I need to move, but I need a plan first. I think about Sarah, about how she pulled this off. She's not tech-savvy, not like me. She barely knows how to clear her browser history, let alone navigate the dark web. Someone must have helped her. Maybe the guy in the baseball cap, the one from the motel video. I pull up the video on my phone, the one the hitman sent me before he flipped. It's still there, grainy and raw. Sarah stepping out of her car, that red dress clinging to her like a second skin. The man's face is still hidden, but I pause on a frame where his hand brushes her arm. There's a tattoo, faint but visible, a coiled snake, its head poised to strike. It's something to hold on to, a thread to pull. I'm about to pack up when I hear it, a soft scrape outside the door, like a shoe on gravel. My breath catches and I freeze, knife in hand. The motel's quiet, too quiet, the kind of quiet that screams someone's listening. I creep to the door, avoiding the creaky floorboards, and press my ear to the wood. Nothing now, but I'm not fooled. I glance at the window, the curtains still drawn, and wonder if he's out there, waiting for me to make a move. I can't stay here, but leaving feels like walking into a trap. I grab my bag, sling it over my shoulder, and slip the knife into my jacket pocket. The burner phone goes in the other pocket, along with the USB drive. I'm not leaving anything behind. The back exit's my best bet. A rusted fire door at the end of the hall. I ease the door open, wincing at the faint squeak, and step into the night. The air's cold, sharp with the promise of rain, and the parking lot stretches out like a graveyard. My car is parked on the far side, a beat-up sedan I bought off Craigslist for cash. I stick to the shadows, moving low, my eyes scanning every corner. A dog barks somewhere, and I flinch, my hand tightening on the knife. I'm halfway to the car when I see it. A figure leaning against a truck, maybe 50 feet away, face hidden in the dark. He's not moving, but I feel his eyes on me, like a weight pressing down. My heart's in my throat, but I keep walking, casual, like I'm just some guy heading to his car. I don't look back. I make it to the sedan, slide in, and lock the doors. My hands are shaking so bad I fumble the keys, but I get the engine started. The figure's still there, still watching, but he doesn't move. I pull out of the lot, keeping my speed steady, my eyes flicking to the rearview mirror. No one follows, or at least I don't see them. I drive for an hour. No destination, just putting distance between me and that motel. The city gives way to suburbs, then to empty roads lined with trees that claw at the sky. I pull into a rest stop, a lonely patch of asphalt with a single flickering light. My phone buzzes, and I nearly drop it. A new email from an address I don't recognize. "You're not fast enough. Shade knows where you sleep." Attached is a photo, a grainy shot of me in the motel room, taken through the window, my face lit by the laptop's glow. I vomit into the grass, the knife slipping from my hand. He was there, right there, and I didn't see him. I wipe my mouth, grab the knife, and get back in the car. My mind's racing, piecing together what I know. Sarah hired him, or someone did. And now he's playing with me, toying with me before the kill. But why? If he's as good as they say, I'd be dead already. Maybe it's not about the kill. Maybe it's about fear, about breaking me first. I think of Sarah's face, her blank eyes, and wonder what she told him, what she paid him to do. I need to find her, confront her, but not yet. First, I need to shake him. I drive again, heading for a town I've never been to, a place small enough to disappear in. I ditch the sedan in a Walmart parking lot, wiping it down for prints, and hitch a ride with a trucker who doesn't ask questions. He drops me at a diner, a neon-lit hole in the wall with greasy coffee and a payphone out back. I use it to call a contact from the forum, someone I'd messaged earlier about Shade. He picks up on the third ring, voice low and wary. "You still alive?" he asks. I tell him about the photo, the email. He's quiet for a long time, then says, "Shade doesn't miss. If you're breathing, it's because he wants you to be." He tells me to check my crypto wallet, says he sent me a file, encrypted, untraceable. It's a dossier on Shade, or as much as anyone knows. I hang up, my hands cold, and head to an internet cafe across the street. The file's waiting, a single encrypted document. I decrypt it with the key he gave me, and my blood runs cold. Shade's not just a hitman, he's a ghost, a cleaner who leaves no trace, no face, no name, just a trail of bodies and a reputation. The dossier mentions the snake tattoo, the one I saw in the video. It's him. I read on, my stomach sinking. He's been hired for more than kills, intimidation, abductions, psychological games. I'm not just a target, I'm a project. And Sarah's paying for it. I delete the file, wipe the computer, and step into the night. I've got a name now, or at least a handle. Shade. I'm not running blind anymore, but as I walk, I feel it again. That weight, like eyes on my back. He's out there, and he's close. The diner's neon sign buzzes like a dying insect, casting a sickly red glow over the empty lot. I'm standing by the payphone, the burner phone clutched in my hand, its weight heavier than it should be. The dossier on Shade is burned into my mind, every word of it like a splinter under my skin. He's not just a killer. He's a predator who thrives on the chase, on the slow unraveling of his prey. And I'm the prey. The air feels too thin, like I'm breathing through a straw, and every sound, the hum of a distant car, the rustle of leaves, makes me flinch. I know he's close. I can feel it, like a blade hovering just out of sight. I ditch the internet cafe and head into the town, a nowhere place with sagging houses and cracked sidewalks. It's the kind of spot where people mind their own business, which is exactly what I need. I find a cheap motel, not much different from the last one, but this time I pay with a stolen credit card I lifted from the trucker who gave me a ride. It's a risk, but I'm running out of cash, and I can't leave a trail. The clerk, a bored woman with smoker's cough, doesn't even glance at the card. My room's on the second floor, corner unit, with a view of the parking lot and a fire escape I can use if things go south. I lock the door, wedge a chair under the handle, and check the window. The lot's empty, but I don't trust it. Shade's out there, and he's already shown he can get close without me seeing. I sit on the bed, the springs creaking under me, and pull out the burner phone. The dossier mentioned a few things about Shade's methods: encrypted comms, burner devices, a preference for working alone. But there was one detail that stuck out. He marks his targets. Not physically, not always, but with something personal, something to let you know he's been there. I think of the photo from the last motel, my face lit by the laptop's glow, taken from outside the window. That was his mark, his way of saying, "I see you." I check the room, tearing it apart, under the bed, behind the mirror, in the vents. Nothing, but my skin prickles, like I'm missing something obvious. I need to get ahead of him, but I'm grasping at straws. The dossier said he's meticulous, plans every move, but he's not infallible. One job went wrong years ago, a target who slipped away. The details were vague, just a mention of a guy who knew too much and vanished before Shade could close the deal. If that guy did it, I can too. But I need more than a ghost story. I need to know how Sarah pulled this off, how she found Shade, how she paid him. I think of the $2,500 withdrawn from our joint account, the cash she's been funneling to her mystery man at the motel. Is he the middleman? The one who connected her to Shade? I pull up the video again, freeze framing on the snake tattoo. It's distinctive, a coiled serpent with fangs bared, inked on the inside of his forearm. If I can find him, I can find answers. I'm not stupid enough to go back to the city yet, but I need information. I log into the dark web again, using the burner laptop and a new VPN. The forums are buzzing, but I'm careful, sticking to read-only mode, no posts. I search for anything on snake tattoos, on hitmen who use intermediaries. It's a long shot, but I find a thread about fixers, people who broker deals for guys like Shade. One name keeps popping up, Viper. No real name, no face, but the tattoo matches. The threads say Viper's a go-between, someone who vets clients and passes jobs to the heavy hitters. If Sarah hired Shade, she went through Viper. And if I can find Viper, I can find her. I'm about to dig deeper when the power cuts out. The room plunges into darkness, the laptop screen the only light. My heart stops, and I grab the knife, my eyes darting to the window. The parking lot's still empty, but the silence is wrong, like the world's holding its breath. I creep to the door, listening. A faint click, like a key in a lock, comes from the hall. I'm up in a second, bag in one hand, knife in the other, moving to the fire escape. The window sticks, and I have to shove it open, the noise too loud in the quiet. I climb out, the metal creaking under my weight, and drop to the ground. My car's gone. I left it at the Walmart lot, but there's a pickup truck idling at the edge of the lot, lights off. I don't wait to see who's inside. I sprint into the trees behind the motel, branches clawing at my face. The night's cold, my breath fogging in front of me, but I don't stop. I hear footsteps behind me, heavy but controlled, like someone who knows how to move without being heard. Shade. I duck behind a tree, my chest heaving, and grip the knife. The footsteps stop, and for a moment there's nothing but the wind. Then a low whistle, almost playful, cuts through the dark. He's toying with me, letting me know he's there. I don't move, don't breathe, my eyes scanning the shadows. A figure moves, just a flicker, maybe 20 feet away. Tall, broad-shouldered, too dark to see his face. I wait, counting seconds, until the footsteps start again, moving away. I don't trust it, but I can't stay here. I move deeper into the woods, keeping low, my shoes sinking into the mud. My mind's racing, piecing together what I know. Sarah, Viper, Shade, the money, the tattoo, the motel. I need to find Viper, but I need to stay alive first. I remember a trick from the dossier. Shade uses tech, trackers, bugs. I check my bag, my clothes, my phone. Nothing obvious, but I'm not taking chances. I bury the burner phone in the mud, wiping it clean first. The laptop's still in my bag, but I'll ditch it soon. I can't afford to be tracked. I emerge from the woods onto a back road, a narrow strip of asphalt lit by moonlight. A gas station glows in the distance, its sign flickering. I head for it, sticking to the ditch, my eyes on the road behind me. No cars, no footsteps, but I'm not safe. I reach the gas station, a rundown place with a single pump and a clerk who looks half asleep. I use the payphone to call the forum contact again, the one who sent me the dossier. He picks up, voice rough. "You're still breathing?" he asks, like it's a miracle. I tell him about Viper, the tattoo, the chase. He's quiet, then says, "Viper's real. Runs a bar in the city, front for his deals. But if Shade's on you, you're not getting near him." He gives me an address anyway, a dive bar called The Coil. I memorize it, hang up, and buy a coffee from the clerk to keep my hands busy. I'm not going back to the city yet, but I need a plan. The Coil's my only lead, but walking in there's suicide. I need leverage, something to trade. I think of Sarah, of the money she's moving. If I can get proof she hired Shade, I can use it. Maybe turn the cops on her. Maybe bargain with Viper. But first, I need to disappear. I hitch another ride, this time with a farmer heading to a nearby town. He doesn't talk much, just grunts when I offer cash. I'm dropped off at a bus station, a gray slab of concrete under buzzing lights. I buy a ticket to nowhere, a small town 2 hours away, using the last of my cash. On the bus, I sit in the back, knife in my pocket, eyes on the door. The other passengers are ghosts, old men, tired women, a kid with headphones. I'm invisible here, just another nobody. But I know Shade's out there, waiting for his moment. The dossier said he's patient, but he's not perfect. I've got the address, the tattoo, a name. I'm not running blind anymore. I'm going to find Viper, find Sarah, and end this. But as the bus rumbles into the night, I feel it again. That weight, like eyes on my back. He's still out there, and he's closer than I think. The bus lurches to a stop in a town that looks like it's been forgotten by time. The station is a crumbling concrete box, the kind of place where dreams go to die. It's past midnight, and the air's thick with the smell of diesel and wet asphalt. I step off, my bag slung over my shoulder, the knife a cold weight in my pocket. My eyes scan the lot, empty except for a rusted pickup and a flickering streetlight that makes the shadows dance. I'm jumpy, every noise a threat, every corner hiding shade. The dossier's words loop in my head. He marks his targets, he plays with them. That photo of me in the motel, the whistle in the woods, they're his games, his way of breaking me before the kill. But I'm not broken yet. I've got one lead. The coil, the dive bar where Viper, the fixer with the snake tattoo, supposedly operates. It's back in the city, hours away, and going there now is asking for a bullet. But I need answers. How Sarah found Shade, why she turned him on me, what she's planning. The bus station's payphone is my lifeline. I dig coins from my pocket, my fingers numb from the cold, and call my forum contact again. His voice is gravelly, like he's been chain-smoking since our last call. "You're pushing your luck," he says when I tell him I'm heading for the coil. Viper doesn't meet randos. You show up, you're dead before you order a beer. I press him for more. Anything to give me an edge. He sighs, says Viper's careful but greedy. Offer him something he can't refuse. Info, cash, a favor. But don't expect him to play nice. He hangs up before I can ask more. I need a plan, but first I need to vanish. This town's small, but it's got a motel a block away, a neon sign buzzing vacancy like a trap. I pay cash, use a fake name, and get a room on the ground floor with a window facing the alley. The room's a time capsule. Stained carpet, a TV that looks like it hasn't worked since the 80s, a bed that sags like it's tired of living. I lock the door, check the window, and shove the dresser against the entrance. It won't stop Shade, but it'll slow him down. I sit on the bed, the burner laptop wheezing as I boot it up. I'm out of crypto, out of cash, and running out of time. But I've got one thing left. Data. Sarah's been sloppy with her tracks. The $2,500 withdrawal from our joint account was just the start. I've still got access to her email, thanks to a password she never changed. I log in, my heart pounding as the inbox loads. Most of it's junk. Work emails, spam, receipts. But there's one thread buried in her trash folder from an address I don't recognize. No subject, just a string of numbers. The messages are short, coded, but clear enough if you know what to look for. Payment received. Job confirmed. Target acquired. My blood runs cold. It's dated the day after I hired the hitman to follow her. She knew. Somehow she knew I was onto her, and she moved faster. There's an attachment. A blurry photo of me leaving our apartment, my face half lit by a streetlight. It's not Shade's work. The angle's wrong. Too amateur. This is Viper or someone working for him. I download the photo, save it to the USB drive, and wipe the laptop. My hands are shaking, but my mind's clear for the first time in days. Sarah's not just cheating, she's orchestrating this, playing a game I didn't even know I was in. I think of her face, blank and cold, and the man in the motel video, his snake tattoo glinting in the light. Viper, he's the key. If I can get to him, I can get to her. But I need leverage, something to make him talk. I dig through the forum again, using a new account, searching for anything on Viper's deals. There's a pattern. Clients who cross him disappear, but he's got a weakness for rare data, hacked files, things he can sell. I don't have that, but I've got something else. The truth about Sarah's job. If she's paying Shade, she's got more money than I thought, and I'm betting it's not clean. I'm about to log off when I hear it. A soft tap at the window, like a finger on glass. My stomach drops. I grab the knife and crouch by the bed, eyes locked on the curtain. The tap comes again, deliberate, like someone testing me. I don't move. Don't breathe. The room's dark. The laptop's glow dimmed. I wait, counting seconds, my pulse hammering in my ears. Then, a shadow moves across the curtain, tall and lean, pausing like it knows I'm watching. Shade. I grip the knife tighter, my knuckles white. The shadow lingers, then vanishes, and I hear footsteps, soft but deliberate, moving away. I don't trust it. I grab my bag, shove the laptop inside, and slip out the door, keeping low. The alley's empty, but the air feels wrong, charged, like a storm's coming. I stick to the shadows, moving toward the main road. A car idles at the corner, headlights off, engine purring. I freeze, my hand on the knife. The driver's side door opens, and a figure steps out. Too far to see clearly, but the build's familiar, broad-shouldered like the man in the motel video. Viper? Or Shade playing another game? I don't wait to find out. I bolt across the street, ducking into a narrow lane between two buildings. My shoes slap against the pavement too loud, but I don't stop. I hear the car's engine rev behind me, tires crunching on gravel. I weave through alleys, my breath ragged, until I hit a chain-link fence blocking a dead end. My heart's pounding, but I climb, the metal biting into my hands. I drop to the other side, landing hard and keep moving. The car's gone, or at least I can't hear it. I find a 24-hour diner, its windows fogged with grease, and slip inside. The waitress doesn't look up as I take a booth in the back, my bag tucked under the table. I order coffee, my hands still shaking, and pull out the USB drive. The photo of me, the emails, the dossier, they're all I've got. I need to get to the coil, but I can't just walk in. Viper's not stupid, and Shade's not far behind. I use the diner's Wi-Fi, careful to route through Tor, and check the forum again. There's a new message in my inbox from an anonymous account. Stop running, you're making it fun. No attachment, no signature, but I know it's Shade. My stomach twists, but I force myself to think. He's close, maybe closer than I realize, but he's not perfect. He's leaving traces, emails, photos, that whistle in the woods. I reply, a gamble. Tell me what she paid you, I'll double it. I don't have the money, but I need to see if he'll bite. I hit send and wait, my eyes on the door. The coffee's cold when the reply comes. She paid in blood. You can't match that. My throat tightens, and I see Sarah's face again. Her blank eyes, that red dress. Blood? Is it a metaphor or something worse? I think of the cash withdrawals, the motel, the man with the tattoo. I need to get to the coil, but I need a way in. I message my forum contact, offering a trade. The emails from Sarah's account for a meeting with Viper. It's a long shot, but it's all I've got. He responds almost instantly. Send the emails, I'll get you a sit down. But if you screw this up, you're on your own. I send the files, my fingers trembling. The diner's quiet. Just the hum of the fridge and the waitress's soft humming. I'm about to leave when I see it. A reflection in the window. A figure across the street, leaning against a lamppost. Tall, broad-shouldered, face hidden. He doesn't move, but I feel his eyes. I grab my bag, leave cash on the table, and slip out the back, through the kitchen. The cook yells, but I'm already gone, running into the night. The coil's my only shot, but Shade's closing in and I'm running out of places to hide. The night air bites at my skin as I slip out of the diner's back door, the cook's shouts fading into the hum of the town's silence. My breath clouds in front of me and my shoes scrape against the gravel as I duck into an alley, the knife in my pocket a cold reminder of how close I'm cutting it. The figure by the lamppost, Shade or Viper or some other ghost, didn't follow, but I feel him, like a weight pressing on my chest. The message from Shade. She paid in blood. You can't match that. Loops in my head, twisting my guts. Sarah's not just cheating or scheming. She's in deeper than I ever imagined. Blood? I see her in that red dress, her blank eyes, and wonder what she's done. what she's capable of. I'm running out of time to find out. The bus station's a mile away and I stick to the shadows, moving fast but quiet, my bag bouncing against my back. The USB drive with Sarah's emails and the photo of me is my only leverage, but it's a thin thread. My forum contact promised to sit down with Viper at the Coil, but I don't trust him or anyone anymore. The town's too small to stay in. Every street feels like a trap, every window a pair of eyes. I reach the station, a gray slab under flickering lights, and buy a ticket to the city with the last of the trucker's stolen credit card. The clerk barely looks at me, and I keep my hood up, my face turned from the security camera. The bus isn't due for an hour, so I hunker down in a corner, the knife in my hand, hidden under my jacket. I'm not safe, but I'm not dead yet. On the bus, I take a seat near the back. The engines rumble, drowning out my thoughts. The city's my only shot to find Viper, to get answers, but it's also where Shade's waiting. I pull out the burner laptop, careful to keep the screen angled away from the other passengers. A tired woman with a kid, an old man snoring softly. I log into the dark web, my fingers shaking on the keys. My contact's message is waiting. Viper's expecting you. The Coil, tomorrow night, 11 p.m. back room. Bring the drive. Don't be stupid. My stomach lurches. It's a setup, or it's not. But either way, I'm walking into the lion's den. I check Sarah's email again, hoping for something new. There's one message, sent hours ago to the same numbered address. He's moving. Finish it. My blood runs cold. She knows I'm running. She's tightening the noose. I close the laptop, my mind racing. The dossier said Shade's methodical, but he's also arrogant, leaving marks to toy with his targets. The photo, the whistle, the email, they're all part of his game. But games have rules, and I'm starting to see them. He wants me scared, wants me to run himself into a corner. I won't give him that. I think of Viper, the snake tattoo, the motel video. He's the link between Sarah and Shade, the one who set this in motion. If I can get to him, I can break the chain. But I need more than emails. I need something Viper wants. Something to make him talk instead of kill. The bus pulls into the city just before dawn, the skyline a jagged silhouette against a bruised sky. I get off at a stop near the industrial district, far from the Coil but close enough to move when I need to. The streets are quiet. Just delivery trucks and early commuters, but I feel exposed, like a target painted on my back. I find a flophouse, a crumbling building that rents rooms by the hour. Cash only, no questions. The room's a hole, peeling wallpaper, a mattress that smells like sweat and despair, but it's a place to think. I lock the door, check the window, and sit on the floor, the knife beside me. My plan's simple. Meet Viper, offer the emails, get him to talk about Sarah and Shade. But simple doesn't mean safe. I spend the day preparing. I buy a cheap hoodie and gloves from a thrift store, keeping my face off cameras. I memorize the layout of the Coil from a grainy street view image. Front entrance, back alley, fire escape. I don't have a gun, and I'm not stupid enough to think I can fight Shade with a kitchen knife. But I've got my brain. I hack into a public Wi-Fi network near the Flophouse and dig deeper into Viper's world. The forums mention him as a broker, but also a collector. Rare data, encrypted files, things he can sell to the highest bidder. Sarah's emails are good, but they're not enough. I need something bigger. I remember a trick from my data analyst days. Companies like Sarah's insurance firm often sit on sensitive client data. Claims, medical records, financials. If she's moving dirty money, it's probably tied to her job. I use the burner laptop to probe her company's network, exploiting an old backdoor I found when I was still checking her emails. It's risky, but I'm in. The files are a gold mine. Fraudulent claims, offshore accounts, names of clients who don't exist. Sarah's name is all over them, buried in coded memos. She's not just cheating, she's laundering money. Maybe for Viper, maybe for someone bigger. This is my leverage, my ticket to Viper's table. Night falls, and I head for the Coil. The bar's in a rough part of town, all boarded up storefronts and flickering neon. I approach from the alley, sticking to the shadows, my hood up. The back door's unguarded, but I don't trust it. I climb the fire escape to the roof, my shoes slipping on the rusted metal. From up here I can see the bar's entrance, a few drunks stumbling out, their laughter sharp in the quiet. I check my watch, 10:45 p.m. I've got 15 minutes. I slip down to the back door, the USB drive with Sarah's emails and the hacked files in my pocket, the knife in the other. My heart's pounding, but I'm ready. Or as ready as I'll ever be. The back room's a haze of cigarette smoke and dim light. A single table in the center. Viper's there. Alone. His snake tattoo curling around his forearm. He's older than I expected. Maybe late 40s, with a face like weathered leather and eyes that don't blink enough. He gestures to a chair, and I sit, the drive burning a hole in my pocket. "You've got balls," he says, his voice low like he's sizing me up. "What's on the drive?" I slide it across the table, keeping my hand near the knife. "Proof my wife's dirty, and her company's dirtier. You want it? You tell me about Shade." His lips curl, not quite a smile. "Shade's a ghost. You don't find him. He finds you." He plugs the drive into a laptop, his eyes scanning the files. I see a flicker of interest, maybe greed. "This is good," he says, "but it's not enough to buy your life." My stomach drops, and I hear it, a soft creak from the hallway outside. Viper doesn't react, but I know what it is. Shade. I'm out of my chair, knife in hand, backing toward the door. Viper laughs, low and cold. "You're already dead, kid. You just don't know it yet." I bolt, crashing through the door into the alley. Footsteps follow, fast and heavy. I don't look back, just run, my lungs burning, the knife useless in my hand. The alley twists, dumping me onto a side street. A car's waiting, engine running, headlights off. I duck behind a dumpster, my heart hammering. The footsteps stop, and I hear that whistle again, low and mocking. Shade's close, but I've got the drive's contents in my head, and I've got Viper's reaction. He wants the data, which means I've got something to bargain with. I just need to stay alive long enough to use it. I slip into the shadows, heading for the industrial district. I know a place, an old warehouse where I can hide, plan my next move. Sarah's files are my weapon now, but Shade's still out there, and he's not playing games anymore. The industrial district smells of rust and oil, a maze of abandoned warehouses and sagging chain-link fences. My shoes crunch on broken glass as I slip through a gap in one of the fences, the warehouse looming ahead like a rotting giant. My lungs burn from running, my hand cramped around the knife, the USB drive still in my pocket like a ticking bomb. Viper's cold laugh echoes in my head, his words, "You're already dead, kid." Mixing with that whistle from the alley, Shade's taunt. I'm not dead yet, but I'm running out of moves. Sarah's files, the hacked data from her company, are my only leverage, but they're useless if I don't make it through the night. The warehouse is a cavern of shadows, its windows boarded up, the air thick with dust and the faint reek of chemicals. I find a corner behind a stack of rotting pallets, crouching low, my back against cold concrete, my heart still hammering, but I force my breathing to slow, listening for any sound. Footsteps, that whistle, anything. The silence is worse, like the world's holding its breath, waiting for Shade to strike. I pull out the burner laptop, its battery low, and boot it up. The glow feels like a beacon, but I need to check the files again to understand what I've got. Sarah's emails and the insurance company's data paint a picture. She's not just laundering money, she's tied to a network. Fake claims, ghost clients, millions funneled through offshore accounts. Viper's part of it, maybe running it, and Shade's the muscle. But why me? Why not just divorce me and move on? I dig deeper, cross-referencing the files with what I know about Viper. The coil's a front, a hub for his deals, and the snake tattoo ties him to the motel video. I freeze on a memo buried in the data, a single line mentioning collateral disposal tied to my name. My stomach twists. Sarah didn't just hire Shade to scare me. She wants me gone, erased, like I'm a loose end. The blood payment Shade mentioned. It's not literal, not yet. But it's her commitment to this world, to Viper's network. I'm not just a cheated husband. I'm a threat to their operation. A noise snaps me out of it. A faint clatter like metal on concrete deep in the warehouse. I kill the laptop's screen, gripping the knife, my eyes straining in the dark. The silence stretches, then another sound closer, a deliberate tap, like a coin against a pipe. Shade. He's here, or he's been here, leaving his marks again. I don't move, barely breathe, my mind racing. The warehouse is a trap, but it's also a maze. If I can move quietly, I might slip past him. I ease up, keeping low, and edge along the pallets, my shoes silent on the dusty floor. The tap comes again from a different direction, like he's circling. My skin crawls, but I keep moving, heading for a rusted stairwell I spotted earlier. The stairs creak under my weight, but I make it to the second floor, a warren of old offices and broken machinery. I duck into one, closing the door softly, and wedge a chair under the handle. It won't hold long, but it's something. I sit against the wall, the knife in one hand, the USB drive in the other. I need a plan, not just to survive the night, but to turn this around. Viper wants the data, but he's not the top dog. Someone else is pulling the strings. Someone Sarah's working for. If I can find them, I can use the files to bargain, maybe even flip Viper against Shade. But first, I need to get out of here. I check the laptop again, risking the light. The battery's at 5%, but I pull up the forum using a new account. My contact's offline, but there's a message waiting from an anonymous user. Viper's pissed. You didn't deliver the drive. He's doubling Shade's fee. My throat tightens. I didn't give Viper the drive. I showed him what was on it, but I kept it. It's my only card left. I reply, a desperate shot. Tell Viper I've got more. Names, accounts, proof. I'll trade for my life. Before I hit send and shut the laptop, my hands shaking. The room feels smaller, the air heavier, like the walls are closing in. Another sound. Footsteps, slow and deliberate, on the stairs. I grip the knife, my pulse roaring in my ears. The chair under the door rattles, just a fraction, like someone's testing it. I'm up, moving to the window, a cracked pane barely holding together. It's a drop to the ground, but I don't have a choice. I ease it open, wincing at the scrape, and climb out, clinging to the ledge. The footsteps stop and I hear that whistle again, low and mocking from inside the room. He's right there. I let go, dropping into the alley, my ankle twisting as I hit the ground. Pain shoots up my leg, but I'm running, limping, the bag bouncing against my back. The alley spits me onto a street, empty except for a single car parked at the corner, headlights off. I don't stop to look, just keep moving, weaving through side streets until my lungs scream. I find a storm drain, a rusted grate half hidden by weeds, and crawl inside, the damp concrete cold against my skin. It's tight, filthy, but it's cover. I lie there, catching my breath, the knife still in my hand. My ankle throbs, but I can't stop now. I check the burner phone. No signal in here, but I've got the drive, the laptop, and my life. Barely, I think of Sarah, her blank eyes, the red dress, the money. She's not just a scorned wife. She's a player in something bigger, something that wants me dead to keep it quiet. Viper's my way in, but Shade's the wall between us. I need to outsmart them both, and I need to do it fast. The forum message said Viper's greedy. I can use that. I crawl out of the drain, my clothes soaked, and limp toward a gas station I see in the distance. Its light's a faint beacon. I use the payphone, calling my contact again. He picks up, voice sharp. "You're a dead man walking," he says. I tell him about the files, the names, the accounts. Get me another meet with Viper. Tell him I've got enough to sink his whole operation. He's quiet, then says, "You're crazy, I'll try. Stay alive till morning." I hang up, my mind spinning. The gas station's empty, the clerk half asleep behind bulletproof glass. I buy a coffee and a map of the city, spreading it out on a bench outside. The coil's marked, but I'm not going back there. Viper's got other spots, other fronts. I saw them in the files, coded addresses for drop-offs and meets. One's close, a storage unit on the edge of the district. It's a risk, but it's my only shot to draw him out. I memorize the address, burn the map in a trash can, and start walking, my ankles screaming with every step. The storage unit's a fortress of rusted metal doors and flickering lights, surrounded by a chain-link fence. I find a weak spot, slip through, and locate Unit 17, the one from the files. It's locked, but I've got a trick. Years of breaking into systems taught me how to pick a cheap padlock. The door groans open, revealing crates, files, and a laptop rigged with a webcam. I don't touch it, but I know it's Viper's, his operations nerve center. I leave a note, scrawled on a scrap of paper. "I've got your data. Meet me or it goes public." I slip out, my heart pounding, and head for a nearby abandoned lot to wait. Dawn's breaking, gray and cold, when I see a car pull up to the storage unit. Viper steps out, alone, his snake tattoo catching the light. He's pissed, checking the lock, the note. I'm hidden, watching, the knife ready. He doesn't see me, but I feel it again. That weight like eyes on my back. Shades close and Viper's my bait. I just need to stay one step ahead. The abandoned lot is a graveyard of rusted cars and broken concrete, the air thick with the smell of oil and decay. I'm crouched behind a gutted van, my ankle throbbing, the knife slick with sweat in my hand. Viper's at the storage unit, maybe 100 yards away, his silhouette sharp against the dawn's gray light. The snake tattoo on his forearm gleams as he reads my note, his face twisting with rage. He's alone, or so it seems. But I know better. Shade's out there, his presence like a cold blade against my spine. That whistle, those footsteps, the photo, they're all his marks, his way of reminding me he's always close. My plan's a house of cards. Use Viper to draw out Sarah's secrets, maybe even turn him against Shade. But one wrong move, and I'm done. The USB drive in my pocket feels heavier than ever, loaded with Sarah's emails and the hacked files from her company, proof of her money laundering, fake clients, and offshore accounts. It's enough to sink her, maybe Viper too, but it's also a death sentence if I don't play it right. I watch Viper pace, his phone to his ear, his voice a low growl I can't make out. He's calling someone, Shade, Sarah, or someone higher up. The files mentioned a network, a shadow operation bigger than Viper, and Sarah's just a piece of it. I'm a loose end, a glitch they need erased. My note was a gamble, a threat to go public with the data, but I'm betting Viper's greed outweighs his loyalty to whoever's pulling the strings. I shift, my ankle screaming, and check the burner phone. No signal, but I don't need it yet. My forum contact promised to set up another meet with Viper, and this is it, even if it's on my terms. I've got no cash, no crypto, just the drive and my wits. The dossier on Shade said he's a ghost, but he's not invincible. He slipped once, lost a target who outsmarted him. I'm banking on being the second. I scan the lot, the shadows still deep despite the rising sun. Nothing moves, but I feel him, that weight of being watched. My hand tightens on the knife, useless against a pro like Shade, but better than nothing. Viper finishes his call and heads back to his car, a black sedan that screams dirty money. He doesn't lock the storage unit, a sloppy move that gives me an idea. If I can get inside, maybe I can find more. Names, numbers, something to tie Sarah to the top of this mess. I wait until his taillights vanish, then limp across the lot, my ankles slowing me down. The storage unit's door is still ajar, and I slip inside, the air stale with dust and metal. The crates are unmarked, but the laptop's still there, its webcam light off. I don't touch it, too risky, but I rifle through a stack of papers. Invoices, coded ledgers, a burner phone taped to the underside of the table. I pocket the phone, my hands shaking, and find a single photo. Sarah, not in her red dress but in a suit, shaking hands with a man whose face is scratched out. The snake tattoo's visible on his arm. Viper. My heart stops. Sarah's deeper in this than I thought. Not just a client, but a partner. The blood payment Shade mentioned. It's her loyalty, her complicity. I'm about to grab the lead krieg when I hear it. A soft scrape, like a boot on gravel outside the door. I freeze, knife out, my back against the crate. The scrape comes again, closer, deliberate. Shade. I don't breathe, my eyes locked on the door. It creaks open just an inch, and I see a shadow, tall, lean, moving like a predator. I'm trapped, no windows, no back exit. My only shot is to wait, let him come closer, and pray I can move faster. The shadow pauses, and I hear that whistle, low and mocking, like he knows I'm here. My pulse roars, but I stay still, the knife ready. Then, a phone rings, the burner I took from the table. It's in my pocket, vibrating against my leg. I fumble to silence it, but it's too late. The door swings wide, and he's there, a silhouette against the dawn. His face hidden, but his presence suffocating. I don't think, just move, diving behind a crate as something glints in his hand. A gun, maybe a knife. I scramble, knocking over papers and bolt for the door, my ankles screaming as I shove past him. He's fast, grabbing my jacket, but I twist free, the fabric ripping, and sprint into the lot. I don't look back, just run, weaving through the rusted cars, my breath ragged. I hear him behind me, footsteps steady, not rushed, like he knows I can't outrun him forever. I duck into a warehouse across the lot, its doors hanging off their hinges. Inside, it's a labyrinth of crates and machinery, the air thick with rust. I climb a stack of pallets, my hands slick with sweat, and crouch behind a rusted conveyor belt, trying to quiet my breathing. The footsteps stop, and the silence is worse, like he's waiting for me to make a mistake. I check the burner phone. One missed call, no number, but a text. You can't hide. My stomach drops. It's Shade or someone close enough to know I took the phone. I'm cornered, but I've still got the drive. I need to get to Viper, to use the data before Shade catches me. I crawl along the conveyor belt, my ankle throbbing, and find a broken window high on the wall. It's a tight squeeze, but I make it, dropping into another alley, the ground jarring my injury. I limp toward the city's edge, where the warehouses give way to cheap motels and gas stations. I need a phone, a signal, anything to reach my contact. I find a 24-hour convenience store, its clerk half dead behind the counter, and use the payphone outside. My contact picks up, voice sharp. You're alive? Viper's livid. He wants the drive and he's not waiting. I tell him about the storage unit, the photo, the ledgers. Set up the meet. Tell Viper I'll give him everything, names, accounts, all of it, if he calls off Shade. He's quiet, then says, You're playing with fire. I'll try, but Viper doesn't like being cornered. I give him a location, a diner a mile away, public but quiet, where I can see who's coming. I hang up and limp to the diner, my eyes scanning every shadow. The place is nearly empty, just a trucker nursing coffee and a waitress wiping tables. I take a booth in the back, the knife hidden under my jacket, the drive in my pocket. Viper shows up an hour later, alone, his snake tattoo hidden under a jacket. He slides into the booth, his eyes cold, unblinking. You're a pain in my ass, he says, voice low. I slide the drive across the table, but keep my hand on it. Call off Shade. I'll give you this, and I walk away. He laughs, a dry rasp. You think you're in charge? Shade's not mine to call off. She paid him, not me. My blood runs cold. Sarah, she's the one holding the leash. Viper leans in, his breath sour. But I'll take the drive, and maybe I don't tell him where you are. I hesitate, then let go of the drive. He pockets it, stands, and leaves without another word. I'm alone again, the diner's hum closing in. I've got nothing now. No drive, no leverage, just a knife and a busted ankle. But I know Sarah's the key, and she's closer than I thought. I need to find her, confront her, end this. The waitress brings me coffee, her eyes lingering like she knows I'm trouble. I sip it, my mind racing. Shade's still out there, and Viper's not my ally. But I've got one card left. Sarah doesn't know I know. I leave the diner, heading for the city's heart, where I know she'll be. The game's not over, but it's about to get bloody. The city's pulse throbs around me, a cacophony of horns and neon that feels like a fever dream. I'm limping through the streets, my ankle a dull fire, the knife in my pocket a flimsy shield against the specter of Shade. Viper's words burn in my skull. Shade's not mine to call off. She paid him. Sarah, my wife, the woman I shared a bed with, the one I thought I knew, is the architect of this nightmare. The USB drive's gone, handed over to Viper in a desperate bid to buy time, but it's left me with nothing but the truth. Sarah's not just cheating or laundering money, she's orchestrating my erasure, tied to a network that wants me buried. I'm out of cards, out of time, but I'm not out of fight. Not yet. I head for our apartment, the one place I swore I'd never go back to. It's reckless, suicidal even, but it's where Sarah will be, and I need to face her. The streets blur past, a haze of faces and lights, every shadow hiding Shade's whistle, his gun, his eyes. My ankle screams with every step, but adrenaline keeps me moving. I stick to alleys, avoiding cameras, my hood up, the knife ready. The burner phone's dead, buried in a dumpster miles back, and the laptop's battery gave out in the warehouse. I'm a ghost now, just like Shade, but I'm not as good at it. Our apartment building looms ahead, a squat brick box in a gentrified neighborhood that never felt like home. The lobby's empty. The doorman gone for the night. I take the stairs, avoiding the elevator's hum, my breath ragged by the third floor. Our door, number 412, feels like a guillotine waiting to drop. I press my ear to it, listening. No sound, but that doesn't mean anything. Sarah's too smart to be careless now. I pick the lock, a trick I learned from too many nights on the dark web, and slip inside, the knife out, my heart pounding so loud I'm sure she'll hear it. The apartment's dark, the air stale, like no one's been here in days. Sarah's perfume lingers, sharp and familiar, twisting my gut. I move silently, checking the living room, the kitchen, the bedroom. Empty, but her things are here. Her red dress slung over a chair, her phone charger on the nightstand. Then I see it. A laptop, not mine, open on the dining table, its screen glowing faintly. I approach, cautious, the knife still in my hand. The screen shows an email client, one I don't recognize, with a single message open. Targets moving, coil compromised, finished tonight. It's from the numbered address, the one tied to Shade. My throat tightens. Sarah's not here, but she's close and she's pulling the strings. I'm about to dig deeper when the front door clicks. I freeze, ducking behind the couch, the knife raised. Footsteps, soft but deliberate, cross the threshold. I peer over the edge, my breath held. It's Sarah, her silhouette unmistakable, but she's not alone. A man follows, broad-shouldered, his face hidden in the dark. The snake tattoo catches the light as he moves. Viper. My blood runs cold. They're together, here, now, and I'm trapped. Sarah's voice cuts through the quiet, low and sharp. He was at the storage unit. He knows too much. Viper grunts, his hand resting on something at his waist. A gun. Shades on it. Won't be long. I'm cornered, my mind racing. The apartment's a cage. No fire escape, no back door. But I've got one advantage. They don't know I'm here. I stay low, crawling toward the bedroom, where I know there's a window that opens to a narrow ledge. It's a long drop, but it's my only shot. Viper's voice follows me, cold and clipped. The data's good, but he's still a problem. If Shade doesn't finish him, we will. Sarah's silent, but I feel her presence, her betrayal, like a knife in my ribs. I reach the bedroom, ease the window open, and climb out, my ankle screaming as I balance on the ledge. The city sprawls below, a glittering trap. I inch along the ledge, the wind biting my face, until I reach a drain pipe. It's rusted, shaky, but I climb down, my hands slipping on the cold metal. I hit the ground hard, my ankle buckling, and limp into an alley, my breath ragged. I'm out, but not safe. Shade's coming, and Sarah's with Viper plotting my end. I need to move, to disappear, but first I need to end this. The files are gone, but I memorized enough, names, accounts, enough to burn their operation down. I head for a payphone a block away, my last lifeline. I call my forum contact, my voice shaking. Viper's with her. They're at my place. I need help. Cops, feds, anyone. He's quiet, then says, "You're in deep. I'll leak the data, but you're on your own. Get out of the city." I hang up, my mind spinning. The cops won't move fast enough, and Shade's too close. I think of Sarah's face, her blank eyes, the woman I loved turned into a stranger. I can't run forever, but I can fight. I head for a pawn shop I know, one that doesn't ask questions. I trade the knife for a cheap handgun, loaded, and a box of ammo. It's not much, but it's enough to make a stand. I find a motel on the city's edge, a dive with no cameras, and hole up, the gun on the table, my eyes on the door. Hours pass, the night stretching into a gray dawn. I'm wired, my ankle a dull ache. When the payphone outside rings, I hesitate, then answer, my voice low. It's my contact. Data's out. Feds are moving on Viper's network. Sarah's name's all over it. I ask about Shade. He pauses. He's off the grid. Watch your back. The line goes dead. I'm back in the room, the gun in my hand when I hear it, that whistle low and mocking from the parking lot. My heart stops. Shade's here. I don't run this time. I'm done running. I check the gun, 6 bullets, and position myself by the window. The curtains cracked just enough to see. A figure moves in the lot, tall, lean, his face hidden. He stops, lights a cigarette, the flame briefly showing his eyes, cold, unblinking. I aim, my hands steady for the first time in days. He steps closer and I fire, the shot shattering the quiet. He stumbles but doesn't fall, disappearing into the shadows. I'm out the door, gun raised, chasing a ghost. The lot's empty, but there's blood on the asphalt, dark and glistening. I hit him. Maybe not enough to kill, but enough to slow him. I don't wait to find out. I grab my bag and move, heading for the bus station, the gun tucked in my waistband. The feds are coming for Sarah, for Viper, but Shade's still out there, wounded but alive. I board a bus to nowhere, my eyes on the window, watching for that whistle, that shadow. Sarah's empire is crumbling, but I'm not free yet. Shade's a hunter, and I'm still prey. But I've got a gun now, and I've got the truth. This isn't over, not until one of us is dead. Thank you for listening. Hope I didn't scare you too much. If you like my stories, please consider giving me a like and subscribe. See you next time.